US carrier JetBlue. In terms of airline fleets we've covered, it's administratively on the simpler side, like competitor Southwest. No subsidiaries, no regional affiliates, no flights operated by other airlines. After covering some of the more complicated airline operating models in the past weeks, JetBlue is a bit of fresh air. The airline's fleet is quite simple too, now that it has become an All-Airbus outfit. So in today's video, we take a closer look at the JetBlue fleet as of late November 2025. And so, at a glance, planespotters.net lists the following aircraft types and quantities for the carrier. The airline has 55 A220-300s with more on the way, 129 A320-200s, 63 A321-200s, and finally 37 A321neos with more on the way. Some of these are the LR subvariant, but the data we're referencing doesn't specify the breakdown. At the time of making this video, this makes for 284 aircraft. It's not quite the 400-plus aircraft you'll find as part of the Alaska Air Group, but it is larger than the 131 jets of Spirit Airlines and the 171 at Frontier. The carrier's undelivered aircraft per CH Aviation include 45 more A220-300s, 24 more A321neos, 9 more A321LRs, and 13 A321XLRs. Now, despite the listing of 13 XLRs still to be delivered, we know from various reports that the carrier has decided to sell a pair of A321XLRs before they're even delivered. The news came in July 2025 and was a response to delivery delays. The airline ordered the 13 A321XLRs in 2019 and has been anxiously waiting for the jets as they were initially due to be delivered in 2023. Bloomberg notes that the airline's chief financial officer, Ursula Hurley, had this to say during an earnings call. These XLR deliveries would result in a costly orphan fleet of 2 aircraft for the remainder of the decade. And so we can see that JetBlue would prefer to take its jets in quick succession rather than have just 2 without any more for several years. Nonetheless, AirlineGeeks.com notes that the airline will initially take delivery of the 2 jets before finalizing the transaction. We last examined JetBlue's fleet in late March 2023, and well, the fleet size hasn't changed all that much, with a net gain of just 4 aircraft. Nonetheless, aircraft types and quantities have changed a little since then. Indeed, since early 2023, JetBlue has gained an incredible 40 A220-300s, while losing 1 A320-200. Its A321-200 fleet has actually stayed exactly the same, while 13 more A321neos have been added. And finally, the airline's 48 Embraer E190s were all retired, having been replaced by A220s. JetBlue's retirement of just 1 A220-200 in recent years stands out. Per planespotters.net data, the airframe registered November 503 Juliet Bravo was the first A320-200 to exit the fleet in some 15 years, with older A320-200s leaving the fleet in 2008. And then, as we mentioned earlier, the carrier has completely moved away from Embraer regional jet operations in favor of using the A220-300. Having depended on the Embraer E190s for years, JetBlue even put out a media statement when its last E190 operated its final flight. This actually only took place somewhat recently, on September 9, 2025. It was on this day that the airline, quote, celebrated a significant milestone in its 25-year history with the final E190 revenue service. Marking the official retirement of the aircraft from JetBlue's fleet, the carrier said that the type, quote, helped propel it through a period of expansion and innovation. This final E190 flight had a special flight number, 190, and was a service from New York's JFK to Boston, which enjoyed festive gateside events in both cities, the same cities where JetBlue's E190 service first took off in 2005. As a special tribute, JetBlue's Chief Operating Officer Warren Christie captained the flight, just as he did for the inaugural journey, joined by several original crew members and guests. On this special day, Christie was quoted as saying, "I am proud to operate today's flight as it marks a significant evolution of our fleet. The E190 was instrumental in our early years and proved to deliver on critical connectivity in short-haul markets, allowing us to grow into new regions, especially in our New York and Boston focus cities. As one of the originating crew members to launch the E190 at JetBlue, it is an honor to pilot our final E190 revenue flight." Fun fact, JetBlue was notably the first airline in the world to fly the E190. In terms of E190 fate, we see that many of the recently retired Embraers are listed as stored. However, many E190s which left JetBlue between 2023 and 2024 are now down under with Alliance Airlines. Some have already entered service, while others are due at the airline. Other ex-JetBlue E190s have been slated to be scrapped for parts to serve the other jets. But in the same media release commemorating the final E190 service, JetBlue highlighted the recent delivery of its 50th Airbus A220 aircraft. The airline highlighted its goal of simplifying its fleet to two types, the Airbus A320 and A220 families, with the A220 being a cornerstone of the carrier's ongoing fleet modernization strategy. JetBlue highlighted that the A220 continues to unlock new possibilities for route expansion, including for transcontinental markets where the E190 was not equipped for the range needed. Unfortunately, it hasn't been all smooth sailing for the airline's modernization strategy. Indeed, its choice of Pratt & Whitney-powered A321neos and A220s has been a bit of a headache for the carrier. In April 2025, we reported on our website that JetBlue had grounded 11 of its aircraft due to these Pratt & Whitney engine issues. The grounding was prompted by mandated accelerated removals and inspections of the PW1100G engines and lack of GTF engine component availability. At present, the airline has 4 of its 55 A220s listed as parked/undergoing maintenance. Of the 37 A321neos, the carrier has 5 on the ground at the moment. It's not too bad, considering other airlines out there have had far more PW-powered aircraft on the ground due to this ongoing engine crisis. And so that's the JetBlue fleet in 2025. The airline's goal to have a young, active and modern fleet has been challenged by delivery delays and, more importantly, engine issues. So what do you think of the JetBlue fleet in 2025? Share your thoughts and experiences with us by leaving a comment down below. In addition to our daily YouTube videos, Simple Flying publishes over 150 articles and a podcast every week. Visit simpleflying.com.